Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Damia Rizka Ghassani, and my student number is 180410200013. And today I'm going to be doing a presentation about All the Bright Places, book versus film adaptation. So the book was written by Jennifer Niven. What we're going to talk about in this presentation is first the summary of the story, next the point of view, and then the characters, the modifications, and the differences. So, first, we're going to talk about the summary. This story talks about two high school students of Bartlett High, Indiana, Violet Markey and Theodore Finch. Finch tries to help befriend Violet and helps her get over her fears of life. Violet was recently in a car accident that killed her sister, which is why she is suffering from survivor's guilt. She refuses to get into a car, and that is why she only rides bike or walks. And Finch wants to try and help Violet get over this fear of hers and get her out of her comfort 3 mile zone. Eventually, they wind up in a school project together where they have to visit Indiana's Wonder. And because of this project, they get closer and closer, as Violet also recovers from her fears. However, as Violet gets better, Finch unfortunately gets worse. There is no specific condition named in the book or the film for Finch. He just gets into these dark moods, and there are things happening to him that he calls the asleep and the awake. The gist is, Finch's state of mind is not in a good place. The story started to end with Finch disappearing, which upsets Violet. And eventually, Violet figured out where Finch is, and it turns out that he drowns himself in one of their wandering places, which they called the Blue Hole. Next, we have point of view. So the point of view of the book is first person point of view, alternating from Finch to Violet. And the film's point of view is third person point of view. And then next we have the characters. So first and foremost, obviously we have Theodore Finch and Violet Markey. And then next we have Charlie Donahue and Brenda. So they are Finch's only friends, and they understand Finch really well, especially when he tends to disappear. And then we have Romer and Ryan Cross. So Romer and Ryan Cross is the same person in the film. However, in the movie, they are two different people. And we're going to get into that later in the modification part of this presentation. And then we have Amanda Monk. So Amanda used to be Violet's best friend. She is a queen bee with a dark secret, and she suffers from bulimia, and she have tried to kill herself several times. Next, we have Mr. and Mrs. Finch. So they are Finch's parents, and they are no longer together. Theodore Finch Sr. is remarried already and lives on the other side of town. Then we have Mr. and Mrs. Markey. They are Violet's parents, and they are very present in her life, especially ever since her sister's death. And then there's Kate and Decca Finch. So Kate is a very supportive and loving sister towards Finch, while Decca is Finch's little sister. However, Decca is not in the film, and these siblings doesn't really talk about each other's problems. And then we have Mr. Embry. So Mr. Embry is Finch's guidance counselor. He tries to help Finch the best way that he could. Next, we're going to get into the modifications. So one of the first modification that I noticed was that they changed the Facebook bit to Instagram. So here in the film, you can see that they used Instagram. This is called Instagram Story. And then here is an excerpt from the book where Finch says that he is signing up for Facebook just so he can send Violet Markey a friend request. So I think the reason for this modification is that the film was made in a more modern time than the book was. When the book was in the making, Facebook was probably still a common thing for teenagers to have. However, in the film, which was released in the year 2020, teenagers no longer use Facebook. Instead, they use Instagram. So next we have the bell tower, scene to the bridge. So here is one of the still shots from the film where we can see that Violet and Finch is standing on a ledge of the bridge where Violet's sister was killed. And however, in the book, they actually first met in the bell tower. So here is the excerpt where Finch is explaining that he is standing in a bell tower. I am in the bell tower of the high school, standing on a ledge about 4 inches wide. And here is an excerpt from the book where Finch realizes that he is not alone in the bell tower, and there is Violet also. She stands a few feet away on the other side of the tower, and also out on the ledge. I think the reason for this modification is because the film doesn't want to focus on the subplot where Finch is considered as the freak and Violet is considered as the hero. The film doesn't focus much aside from the relationship between Violet and Finch itself. Next, we have Romer and Ryan Cross. So, as I have said earlier, Romer and Ryan Cross in the movie is the same person. So, there's actually only Romer in the film. Romer acts both as Violet's friend and also Violet's ex-boyfriend. However, in the book, Romer is dating Amanda Monk, and Romer is Violet's friend, while Violet's ex-boyfriend is called Ryan Cross. Here is one of the excerpts from the book where Violet is explaining that Ryan Cross is her ex-boyfriend. He was my boyfriend, but now we're taking a break. And then here is Finch explaining about Romer. Gabe Romero, better known as Romer, better known as Dumbass. Here he is talking about Romer. And in this part of the book, outside of class, Gabe Romero books my way, blah, blah, blah. Finch is talking about the clique that consists of Romer, Amanda Monk, Ryan Cross, and also Violet. Next, we're going to be talking about the differences. So first, the opening sequence. In the book, from page 4 to page 11, the opening narrative was both Finch and Violet at the top of the bell tower in their school, while in the film, this completely changes. Violet is standing on a ledge in the bridge where the car crash that killed her sister happened, while Finch is running when he notices that Violet is there, and he manages to talk Violet out of her daze and makes her realize that she doesn't want to do this. So this completely changes the story itself. The whole bell tower thing is a very big part of the book. Because of the bell tower incident, Violet is considered as a hero who saved the freak Finch. So the whole school knows about the incident and it is a big deal. The school paper, the parents, their guidance counselors know about this as well. Meanwhile, in the film, because they were the only two people there on the bridge, no one really knows about it. And then the next difference is Finch's family. So the fact that Finch's family is pretty much non-existent in the film plays a big role in the differences between these two mediums. Finch's abusive father is one of the reasons why he is messed up, and the fact that he's been beaten up as a kid and watched his mother get beaten up as well surely scarred him. In fact, he has a very big and noticeable scar on his stomach that Violet at one point asked him about. So in the film, um, we can't even see Finch's parents, either his mother or his father. So that is a pretty big difference. And then next, we have the focusing point. So the film focuses more on the relationship between Violet and Finch, and we don't really see a lot from Finch's point of view and his situation. So maybe that is also why a lot of the storylines were cut out for the film, because the film focuses more on the relationship and not even Finch's sickness or condition. And as for character wise, the book focuses more on Finch, while the film focuses more on Violet. So that would be all for my presentation today. Thank you very much.